Door.
Where's the gavel?
Clear him.
All right.
All right, call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, November 17th.
Joanne's getting the.
Joanne will
I'll do
be
the
right
roll
back.
call. I can do roll call. Commissioner Ernst,
Here.
Commissioner Engel,
Here.
Commissioner Rollins,
Here.
Commissioner Vogelsang. Here. Commissioner Wright.
Here. All right, any changes to the agenda tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to public requests. We will open the floor to public requests and you have 3 minutes. Please state your name and your address for the record.
Hello, Robert Duquette, 5351 Northwest Third Terrace. Want to thank the commission, first of all, for listening to the residents and stopping the surf park. I think based upon that, it's time to start over. Your master plan had golf as the core item, and your report from Miller Lake shows the number one rated need, and number one rated points on their evaluation was trails. Number two was golf. And number 8 was pickleball. Well, we've already got pickleball. And your own master plan, conceptual master plan, which you've all seen numerous times, obviously is primarily for golf. One of the things I also want to talk about is affordability. You've already approved the paddle ball and the pickleball and the paddle company. And if you want to have a family membership there, it's over $4,000 a year plus court time. That compares to your new beautiful Patch Reef facility, which is $320 a year for a family with no additional court time. So whatever you do, let's make sure it's affordable. I know that a lot of people talk about a lot of issues have changed in the last year. I think one of the things that's changed a lot is obviously 12,000 signatures were obtained to stop public-private partnerships within the city. So that's something that you may want to consider when you're deciding if you want a public-private partnership. The public-private partnership normally would inherently make it less affordable, as indicated by the pickleball facility. So again, keep those things in mind, please, and look forward to hopefully seeing a golf facility. One other thing on the golf facility, I did take my rangefinder and go where the old driving range was. And from the driving range there is 250 yards. Okay. I also went to Drive Shack in West Palm Beach, similar to Top Golf. Theirs was under 220 yards. So that location within the area where golf is planned would be ideal for a location because it's close to parking. People who are going to the driving range may or may not be wanting to lug their golf clubs, very far. Also, it's a lot of parking right there in that facility. If you go back to where they have it on the master plan for the parking and for the driving range, then you have the same traffic issue that you had with the surf park. You're going halfway up toward the bridge before you actually have entrance and exit out of that property. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brianna Hadquist, 5710A Coach House Circle. I'm also known as the voice of the Gopher Tortoises at Sugar Sand. Again, I don't have anything prepared because I've really told you all of the information about Gopher Tortoises. Other than they live there in their beautiful urban forest along with lots of other wildlife. Plans change. Long range plans initially was to build ball fields on this plot of land. But plans change. Everybody's plans change. There's probably no one in here whose plans somehow or another have not changed over the course of even a short amount of time. Overwhelmingly, comments on social media want to keep the forest and the wildlife the way they are. We like our forest, our wildlife, and our picnic area. There are many, many areas in town that are already cleared that ball fields can be built. We don't need to destroy our forest. We also don't need any more traffic in this area. Just this past week, there have been two very, very serious accidents that have closed Palmetto from 95 to Military. The intersection of Military and Palmetto is already referred to as a gridlock. Couple weeks ago, I was waiting to make a left-hand turn on my solid green arrow, and for some reason, I just hesitated for a couple seconds. I don't know why, but I did. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today, because if I had turned on my arrow, I would have been T-boned by a truck that ran a solid red light. People are tired of waiting 3 to 5 and more lights to get through. It's unreasonable. Everywhere you go, we can't handle any more traffic in this area. Our wildlife needs to be preserved. They don't have a voice. That's why I'm here. I'm speaking for them because they can't. I would love to bring one so you could see what these little guys look like and just how gorgeous they are, but it's against the law to even touch an endangered species, although there have been some serious allegations against me concerning wildlife. I won't go into that, but I've sent everybody an email so the commissioners are aware of it. But please do not destroy our forest and look at other areas for the ball fields. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Harold Chaffee. I'm the president of Keep Golf in Boca, 6200 Northwest Second Avenue. I want to commend you also for all the hard work and long hours you put in. You're making us all tired. Believe me, if these meetings last any longer, we'll be much thinner because we don't eat dinner, unless you want to bring food. I want to make a couple of suggestions. First of all, in the ranking score box, there should be another box added to that which says compatibility. Because compatibility with the neighborhood, with the residents, without that, all this is just, you're looking for something commercial, but it all has to fit into the neighborhood and the community. Now, the other thing too is I want to make another suggestion as far as whether to proceed on the RFPs or not. I think basically that you got 4 people that put in proposals for the RFP for golf. Okay. What you should really do, instead of spending all the money for the RFP, send out again, you're going to get the same results. Just get the 4 of them together. Give them a list of exactly what you want. Driving range, this, that, all the stuff. Give them all the items that you basically want and send them off on a task. Go ahead and encompass the whole north and south side or west side and see what you get. And a lot of times what you do is you get a lot of stuff back, but you also learn a lot too. So maybe they come up with some kind of a different proposal, different layout, but the people that do respond are committed. The other thing too is like Robert said, it has to be affordable. That's the most important part, and like I said, the best way to save green space is to basically do a park, is to do a golf course. Because all of this is dirt, all you do is move it around. There's no fixed buildings, there's nothing constructed on it. You take a look, it's just like banking it. You put it up, at least you'll be satisfying the residents who really want to play golf. If it doesn't work out, you just turn it around and you never know what the future's going to bring. Never the way things are going to turn out. All right. Thank you very much for everything you do.
Thank you.
Regina Eklund, 5201 Northwest Second Avenue. Commissioners, I continue to urge you to provide a golf facility at North Park using a large portion of the west side of the property. My preference would be for an 18-hole executive course, driving range, practice and learning facility. The only nearby executive courses are Lakeview, Kings Point in Delray, and Boca Dunes over 8 miles away. And none of these have a driving range or a learning facility. Such a facility will in no way duplicate or compete with Boca's existing regulation 18-hole or par 3 city courses, but will actually complement them and provide a full range of golf opportunities. You received 4 golf proposals, 3 that deserve further explanation and consideration. You have a rare opportunity to own this large tract of land, which was and still is ideally suited to golf. Ocean Breeze Golf Course was allowed to fail, not due to a lack of interest, but because of the default of the developer who purchased it, the poor management of the Palmer Group that operated it, and the complete lack of funding for maintenance, improvements, and operation from the bank that held title. Build a golf facility. It is what golfers, residents of the surrounding community, and Boca have repeatedly asked you to do. Stop finding reasons to do something else. Preserve this green space, the value of our properties, and the great Boca Chica community. A park is a good idea, but a golf course, driving range, and practice facility provide a recreational opportunity for all ages and make money. Lastly, I would also like to thank you for seeing that a surf park was inappropriate in the residential area of North Park. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, guys. Good evening. Little different in a smaller conference room here. Greg Galanis, 1780 Parkside Circle South, Boca Raton. First and foremost, I want to thank Bob and Susie and Steve for their bold and courageous motion and votes last week to do the right thing. Those of you that did not vote in favor of moving forward in a different direction, I urge you to put your personal beliefs aside and listen to the will of the people. Once again, I run the city men's league at the Boca Public Course. I now have over 150 guys. This Wednesday, I've got 24 foursomes going out. We're adding 5 to 10 people every week. The demand is off the charts. The golf course is at capacity. I have met with city leadership and asked if there's any reservations with you guys moving forward with a small golf course and practice facility, and they have none. They have voiced that, and that's a positive thing. Current course, excuse me, made $4.3 million this year and is at capacity. They have no space right now. They're sellout almost every day. And excuse me, trying to read small data here. 55,000 rounds have been played this year at the golf course. Golf course is in good shape, but the majority, more than half of my guys within the next 3 years are going to age out in the sense that they will no longer be able to play a course that difficult. not to mention all of the residents in the community that already cannot play a course that difficult. Golf is growing, golf is profitable, and the great city of Boca Raton needs additional facility, and I urge you to move forward with that. Thank you again for all you do.
Thank you. Anyone else? Nope. Okay, closing public comment. Approval of minutes of the previous board meeting held on November 3rd.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous.
Moving on to regular business, item number 1, the 2026 district board meeting and holiday schedule.
Commissioners, page 7 of your agenda packets is a proposed holiday schedule based on our enabling legislation. We meet on the 1st and 3rd Mondays of every month. We set this schedule up, trying not to conflict with any holidays. Looking tonight to adopt this pending any amendments to the schedule.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay,
Can we discuss?
sure.
Just wanted to suggest or make the proposal that on a couple dates, as we've done in the past, March 16th is right in the middle of Palm Beach County spring break. And so I suggest moving that from the 16th to the 23rd. And the other one would be, there's a May 4th. I have a conflict, but we can go ahead without it. But it'd be nice if we could move it to the 5th. And then lastly was the June 15th meeting. And it's almost 2 weeks. And if we moved it to June 22nd, I thought that would be more accommodating for preparation for our budget. And by then we should have, I think the city needs a little bit more time to get their fee schedule in place. And that's in the first half of June as opposed to the last half of June.
So your other one was May 4th?
May 4th to the 5th and June 15th to the 22nd.
What was the May reason for moving?
Personal.
Oh.
Out of town. But, go for it if you want. It's okay.
I'm okay with moving the March one and the June one, but I don't see a reason to move the other one.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm fine, as far as moving the
Yeah.
due dates a week back.
Okay. So moving March 16th to the 23rd,
23rd.
and then moving June 15th to the 22nd.
Correct.
Okay, everybody on board? Yep, yes.
Just quick question. In September, will we have the 8th and the 22nd as our public hearings?
Most likely, but we can't do that. You'll have to adopt that at a separate meeting in July.
Okay.
But most likely we would plan to do the same thing pending any major changes.
Do you see any reason why it wouldn't have?
We would have to wait to see what the school district calendar is and
Okay.
go along with that.
Fine.
Okay, so we have a second. We'll do a roll call.
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item number 2, North Park deed restriction discussion.
Commissioners, page 9 in your agenda packets, we published all the legal opinions we've had. We sought a third legal opinion regarding the deed restrictions on the property, and I'll just let Jacob kind of summarize these in his comments.
Thank you, Brianne. Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. As the board is aware, the topic of deed restrictions has been a discussion point certainly recently, but the conversation, as you know, goes back quite a few years. In your backup are a number of legal opinions that have been obtained by the district in recent years, as well as one that was obtained by the city of Boca Raton back in 2017. Back in 2017, again, before our office was retained as general counsel, Ms. Harm's predecessor, your former executive director, had reached out to our office, Sam and I both, on the issue specifically with regards to deed restrictions. At the time, we had prepared a legal opinion specific to Mr. Koski that spoke to that issue. In 2020, we had supplemented that opinion and prepared a separate but consistent document that was directed specifically to the board. In 2017, around the same time we were doing our legal homework, the city attorney's office for the city of Boca Raton was also looking into the issue in the context of eminent domain and also the enforceability of deed restrictions. Both our office and the city attorney's office reached the same conclusion, which we've shared with you in the past. There are two cases by the Florida Supreme Court. One is out of Manalapan, going back to the early 80s, and one is out of the town of Bay Harbor Islands, going back to 1955, which essentially confirmed the fact that deed restrictions are contract rights. They're not property rights. They're not compensable in the context of enforceability as it relates to a governmental entity. And when a governmental entity such as the Boca Park District or the city of Boca Raton or another municipality acquires property either through eminent domain or through purchase and with the intent of using that property for a public purpose, for a recreation purpose, which is what our charter provides, or if we were a city for a municipal purpose, then those deed restrictions would not be enforceable against a public agency. The Supreme Court's been very clear on that, going back, again, well over 50 plus years. The seminal case really is the case from 1982 out of the town of Manalapan. More recently, as Brianne indicated, we went and just sort of to kind of reaffirm our thinking just to see if there's anything further out there that might have changed our analysis since 2020, which is when we issued our more recent opinion to the board. We asked for a third-party fairness opinion. And within the past month or so, we received an opinion from the Nason Yeager law firm, from John Fumero, who's a longstanding, highly qualified land use lawyer, who looked at the issue as well. Mr. Fumero and his opinions included in the backup further validated the conclusion of both the city attorney's office and our office. But interestingly enough, he raised one additional point that we hadn't covered in 2020 or 2017 because it pertained to a case that was rendered by the 4th District Court of Appeals in 2024 out of Hollandale Beach, Florida, with regards to the enforceability of deed restrictions. In that case, it had to do with restrictions related to a marina that were imposed by the city. And when the city acquired the property, again, consistent with the Manalapan decision, consistent with the Bay Harbor Islands decision, those restrictions were not enforceable against the municipality. Law in Florida is very clear as it relates to that issue, so long as the property is acquired either through eminent domain or through purchase with the intent of using it for a public purpose, those deed restrictions would not apply to the district, would not apply to the city, again, in the context of contractual rights, and they would not run with the land as would an easement or some other property right. All of the opinions are included in your backup. I know you've had a chance to review them. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Just one, and really, I shouldn't even be asking this, but there is no debate as to the fact that the Greater Boca Raton Beach and Park District is a governmental agency.
Commissioner, so it's a good question. We are, first of all, we're not a municipality. We know that. Municipalities are created under Chapter 166, Florida statutes. We're an independent special taxing district governed by Chapter 189. We're not a dependent district. We were not created by the city of Boca Raton. We're created by the legislature. We're an independent district. You're a 5-member elected body. You have independent sovereign authority of the state of Florida. You're afforded sovereign immunity, which only applies to public agencies in the state of Florida. Without question, you have taxing authority. You're a public agency. The same analysis that we spoke to with regards to Manalapan, with regards to Bay Harbor Islands, would equally apply to an independent special taxing district like our own.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Nope. Okay, moving on to item number 3. North Park RFP discussion.
Commissioners, page 31 of your agenda packets is just an update on where we are with the RFP on the west side. I know it's been a topic at all of our meetings. Provide an update on Kemper Sports. I met with them again last week. They are going to give me a timeline next week as far as when they can provide their financial information. Late this evening, I got an agreement from Jerry Ford to start the financial analysis. So I'll review that and make sure it's consistent with the things that we asked them to review in the Boca Sports Entertainment proposal, the Boys and Girls Club, as well as Kemper Sports when we get their information. So I'll follow up with that and review with them and then get them started on that process. And that's where we are with this process. On the west side, I just wanted to open up and see if there's any other direction from the board pending last meeting and anything else we need to follow up with staff-wise.
Sure, I'll talk. Look, from my perspective, I'm on this board really looking for what's going to happen for the next 20, 30, 40 years. So I think the things that we decide upon are very impactful. I'm very proud of our group that what we do. But looking in a long run view, I felt a little blindsided by, tabling the surf park. I respect my peers and their decision, and we made a decision as a group, so that's tabled and that's fine. But what I do think we need to deal with is what's the process we're dealing with. And I think we should have an open and honest conversation about what do we see happening there and focus on that. So that's part of the discussion tonight to say, let's, it just seemed like a weird process to me, do this ranking, and then we had all different things and we're trying to cobble it together. I thought there were some good components to it. We learned some things out of that process. But we also have a lot going on in the city. And so there's multiple components going on in the city. And I think we need to be mindful and respectful of that. We have I think a complete changeover of our city elected staff. I think we have a environment with we already have a city golf course. So there's a city golf course only 2 to 3 miles away that I'm pleased to hear from Greg that it's doing so well. We were turned down on our golf course multiple times at 25 million, 20 million, 15 million, whatever we picked, we could not do it. It just didn't go forward. But more importantly, there's a bigger, deeper discussion about recreation, and I credit that to the Safe Boca crowd, forcing the issue of some of the things that we do like in our community. And we know from the last meeting, our girls who are in the near area like to play softball, and we're building strong women in the softball league, but they have nowhere to play that is in like a team event like the boys is. So there needs to be a quadplex somewhere. I think we're pretty comfortable with that. I think the other important lesson we all learned out of this is we have one field house. That field house or gym is over at Sugar Sand. It's a beautiful, well-used field house. Beyond that, we don't have anything, for a gym. That's the lesson that we should take to heart and we should be planning for, and we should have planned for in the past. We go back to soccer fields. We spent a $3 million out at Patch Reef putting in an artificial field. Collectively, we have access to about 10, 11 soccer fields. So we're in pretty good shape on soccer fields. We got a whole facility out at Spanish River. So that's pretty much checked the box and done. But we want to do more because we realize, the growth of FAU is coming along and we may get pushed out there, but we have to evaluate that a little further. The priority for us is to talk about this open land that we have here and what do we do with it? And can we do that now with the information that we have? Can we make decisions on it now? And I think the answer is no, we really can't. We need to talk with the city a little bit more. What are their plans? And the city has been very, they have, I don't know what their plan is out at that golf course and if it's going to compete or not. To me, they're very different golf courses, but we have to have that conversation. And we also talked about a combined recreation survey of where the needs are. So we do know we need the field houses. So my suggestion is we have an open conversation about it and start tonight.
So I do want to add to the conversation here. Commissioner Ernst brought it up. I did meet with the city manager. Mark Sohaney is also the deputy city manager, Chrissy Gibson, as well as Greg Stevens, the rec services director. And we talked about updating a survey for recreation because there are a lot of different needs being expressed that weren't expressed prior. We also talked about their golf course, and I think there's a number of things that they're working on with their golf course. I'm not sure who Mr. Galana spoke with, but they definitely want to make sure we are all working together if we're doing golf to make sure it meets the needs that they're not going to be able to meet. If they have plans in the future to do things at their course, they don't want us to overlap with that. And we have to just work together with them on that process. So I just want to bring that up as well.
To your point, Brianne, I don't want to see a repeat of what happened earlier when we were planning on building a golf course and the city wasn't transparent about their plans. They need to be transparent about what they want to do. If they want to add on at a Boca Country Club or wherever and build what we're talking, what we've been talking about tonight and prior, they need to let us know. If they don't, they need to let us know that. so that we can proceed.
Can you hear? The microphones pick up your voices, so.
And if we're going to do this 100%, it needs to be in collaboration with the city. But I don't want to have a repeat of 2016, 2017, 2018, when the city was putting up roadblocks to what our plans were, but they weren't transparent about why. So I think that needs to take place. I think the conversation, Brianne, that you had with city staff is a step in that direction. We also need to know what the new city council is going to look like and what their ideas are. So there's a lot here. I agree with Craig. We need to have an open discussion about what's going to happen, and that's got to include the city. And we need to be definite about if we're going to build a golf course, what components are we going to have? Are we going to have a driving range? If we're going to have a driving range, should it have nets? Should it not have nets? What's the parking? Should we have a learning facility? Exactly what do we want? And then move forward from there. Because we can't just say, okay, put out an RFP. You guys come back to us, tell us what your ideas are. Maybe we'll like it and maybe we won't. I think we need to give direction to whomever builds a golf course. All right. And the city needs to be honest with us in terms of what they're going to do with their golf facility and what their plans are going forward, because it's a waste of time and money to just go out and butt heads over and over and over again. It's a waste of our time, your money on both ends, and it's just not productive. I think whatever we do, it's got to be, we're all moving in the same direction.
I want to add that the city manager is new, Mark Sohaney. He's definitely prioritizing recreation in general and wants to work through a lot of the recreation things that have been at a standstill, including golf, softball, all those issues. So he's working through a timeline to get those things addressed quickly, not for years to come. So, and I think that the plan is to address a lot of these things in the next 6 months.
Madam Chair, Craig, thank you for the history lesson of where we are and what we've done. And I agree, it was timely to have a discussion. The fact that the city, I've met the city manager and had some lengthy conversations with him about recreation, and I think he's a person who will follow through with his commitment to take a look at our recreation facilities. I think it's also important that we get the input from the city. I sense a different environment now with the city regarding building a golf facility, Steve. And I really think golf is probably an appropriate filler for the course over on the west side of Boca Chica at Ocean Breeze. But I do think that it's important that we do so. That's something that's compatible with the services that the city is offering. And I think that's what Brianne is saying, is that with the city manager's oversight now, I think we're going to get to the point where we're going to have a compatible discussion. If golf is the intended purpose over there, which I think there's a lot of interest in seeing that we do just that. But I think it's also important that we collaborate with the city, and you've been a big component of that, Craig, over the years about collaborating. And I think this is an excellent opportunity for us to build something that's compatible with the neighborhood, that's would be something that would complement what the city has at their facility. And I don't have any ideas about what that might be, but I think that to Craig, a point of not making any additional decisions till after the election, where we see who we're working with. But I do think that we're going to be working with a city manager that has a can-do attitude, and I think brings a refreshing bit of insight into the planning process. And I really, I really do think that after the analysis and what we've heard from folks that, golf is probably a primary consideration for us over there on the west side of at North Park. And I would suggest that we not take any additional actions until we've had an opportunity to collaborate with the city on what they're doing and what we might plan to do.
Well, we discussed getting a survey out within the next couple of months, getting not an open survey, I'm sorry, a statistically valid survey. When we did that statistically valid survey at North Park, the results were very different than an open survey. The statistically valid survey made sure it pulled residents from the district, also from the city. They noted different zip codes and made sure that it was from all different areas, all different taxpayers that are funding our parks and using our parks. And so those needs on the North Park property were, the top 5 are walking trails, bicycle trails, a farmer's market, nature preserve, kids playgrounds, and then restaurant and coffee shop. Golf was actually very low in the statistically valid survey as far as what people wanted at North Park. And I think the idea is that things have changed and there may be a need for different golf amenities. So if we do a statistically valid survey again with the city and talk about recreation, we'll make sure we get the right things on this last little bit of property that we have for recreation. They'd like to work together on that survey and work quickly to get it out.
I mean, I think it makes sense. I mean, I'd just like to, I'm not adverse to golf. I just don't want to pay 20, 30, 40 million for it. And my understanding on the city is they're looking at whether they pay 30 million or more to invest in a property that's not even in the city. That's a challenge. So, but that's something I think the city elected have to figure out. Certainly if, we bought Boca Chica's golf course, Ocean Breeze, with the intent of putting the golf course there. And that was the original intent. We did not intend to inherit another golf course adjacent to it. I don't know why the city can't put a big driving range over there and a Himalayan golf course and a bar and all that other stuff over there. The things that were described to be financially feasible for a golf course, as told to us by, the presenters, seemed to me you had to put a big investment into it, which we don't have. And what came to me is when we built the east side out or mapped it all out, which I think is marvelous, it's very expensive just putting in the mapping out that east side. I think we initially said, when Miller Lake said it was going to be 20 million or 10 million just for the bottom half, I was like, that's crazy. These are trails, so how is this going to work? It's an environmentally challenged area that needs to be remediated, built up right, and it's going to take a significant investment. That requires, taxpayer dollars to do it. So I think we're done with the east side, but we need to see it. So let's finish. We got enough on our plate. Let's start on getting the construction designs out to bid, which I think they are.
The bids are actually due Wednesday this week. So
in the next few weeks, we're going to start really going on that. Is it safe to say, Brianne, within a year, we will actually have some trails and some stuff out there?
We have to get through permitting, but yeah, I hope so. I mean,
so
we'll maybe award at the end of December, early January, and they'll start the process of permitting and construction.
So that would be I think a proud moment for all of us to have the east side, focus on the east side. And as with any, construction project, there's always going to be some kind of extra challenge or something that goes on. So we don't have to commit to doing anything right now. My suggestion would be is that we just, put all this stuff on hold, except for, I think we all agreed on the Boys and Girls Club. They seem to be funded and, they knew what their plan was and going, let that go forward, put the other stuff on hold until we, have a kumbaya with the city and they get settled. In the meantime, we're going to be building out the east side and then we readdress everything in 6 months. What's your thoughts?
I have one thing. I think we should, can I make a motion to cancel the Boca Sports contract, or not contract, but reject the proposal. I am in favor of building our own field house that is only for our residents to use. I mean, any outside groups and things like that, like how we do our Sugar Sand Park field house. I think doing the private, I don't think our residents will get the time that they need there, and it's gonna cost them a lot more, I think. So I make a motion to cancel that one. Reject, sorry.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Can we discuss it just a little bit?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, I think the benefits of a third party operating it were twofold. One is the investment. They were willing to put in, I think, 15 million in it. The other benefit was the programming on it. But I think we all agree that we really need these gyms. And we also know that we have other nonprofit groups that just won't be able to work in there, to pay for it. So I'm supportive if that's what we want to do as a team, go forward with it. But I would look for us to make sure we maybe work with them on the programming side of things to see how we can learn what they have and maybe partner with them some way, or explore it a little bit further. If there's programming where they can rent it out and take out, make better use of the facility. Some of the ideas were pretty good in it, is what I was saying.
I don't know. I'm fully confident in the city. I mean, the city does a great job at the programming at Sugar Sand. And I think they would do just as great a job at the new facility. I don't think that the proposer knew much about our city at all. I think Butters does, but he was just constructing it, right? I don't think he knew what we needed at all. And so I just don't think it's part of what our residents need is a private facility like that. So, and keep in mind, we already put $10 million aside for a new field house. So, and I think the cost estimate in the proposal was around $10 million. So, so that's my opinion on that one.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Susie. You have.
I would love to speak. Our board, we're all smart people, but we're also public servants. And I like your idea, Aaron, of having more access for a field house for our community, that they don't have to pay an hourly, a large hourly rate, and the user groups like Boca Basketball could use it. I think that's a great idea. And Brianne says we have the money set aside.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did. We set aside a reserve fund for DeHornley and the field house. We could do an RFP for just a design build if we wanted to do it that way. If everybody's comfortable putting that at North Park on that property.
And on the same note, what we don't know about golf at the municipal course right now, is there land to put an executive course and a usable driving range and a learning center? That's something we need to find out. We paid Miller Lake a lot of money to come up with a great idea for the west side. But as you say, things have changed. We need to work with the city. But is that facility going to be feasible at the municipal course? We do need to find that out. I don't know, there are smarter people than I am about golf sitting in this audience, and I haven't heard anything about where an executive course could go to replace the course at Bow Community. We've been getting a lot of emails supporting golf. We do owe it to our residents to listen to them again. We listened to them, about not putting a surf park in because it wasn't a good place for a surf park, even though it was a beautiful facility. But we've got to, listen to the people and what they want, not what is good for us. But also working with the city. I think the more we can find out from the city, the better off we're going to be.
I do believe that they're prioritizing all their recreation, including golf right now, and getting a plan in place to implement some things.
They're evaluating the municipal golf course to see what they can do there.
I mean, I just don't know where it would go. I'm sorry.
Right, but we need to work with them, so we need to
Oh,
wait for their
absolutely. I
evaluation.
completely agree, but I just don't, in my mind, I just can't see where an executive course is going to go over there. I've been all over that course with Mr. Galanis and I just don't know where it's gonna go. So
And I also think we need to keep in mind, I appreciate all the emails from the residents in the area. But we also doing a statistically valid survey with the city to get an all-encompassing resident view of what's needed is really important, I think. You can't just take a small snippet of our constituents and say this is what we need to put there, right? We have to look at all our constituents because we're elected by all the constituents and our tax dollars come from all the constituents. So we need to keep that in mind when we're putting whatever we put there as well.
and we're doing the trails, we're
Mhm.
doing the playground, we're doing good things that everybody wants.
Mhm.
Just
Well-
trying, just try.
Yeah, just as a reminder too, Boca Municipal, the one that the city sold for 65 million, was further outside the city than what this current municipal course is. I agree with the comments that have been made that we need to collaborate with the city on this and the recreational study. But at the same time, we need to understand compatibility too when we're talking about that, so that we don't mislead somebody into thinking that what they're proposing may be compatible, because I think that's a major issue within this development, that these people who purchase that property should have the right to their enjoyment of of whatever we put there, and not to be disruptive to the neighborhood. As far as Aaron's motion, I know we have $10 million that's been set aside for a new field house. I guess that's permanently, it's actually set aside in our bank account, right? Aaron?
It's in a reserve fund, yes.
Okay, and then as far as the Hornley phase 2?
We have 10 million set aside for that development. We set that money aside this year. We set aside money this year to design the field house, and we set aside money to design phase 2 of the Hornley Park. Phase 2 obviously has to be, we could do a design build for the field house, knowing that there's possibility of getting designs back that are 10 million. But the design of the Hornley Park, we're waiting on the city to get us the interlocal agreement back because we need to get moving on that. That will require, obviously we have to design new parking and find ways to add more parking to the current parking lot is one of the issues we have to address. And then how many fields can we fit?
Do you recall, or do you have access to what we
Yes,
spent to, I know the total build out there on the first phase was like 14,
Yes.
16 million, somewhere around there, because we had to retrofit some underground utilities.
Yes.
So whatever we do, we're going to need 10 million is not going to give us a completed project.
No, we set aside the money this year to design and we put some in a reserve fund to start for construction. And then we would obviously set aside the remainder that we would need for construction in next year's budget.
Okay, and the other issue too that we need to be conscious is the covered facility there at Sugar Sand Park.
Yeah, we have money set aside for that already because we did have the budget set aside to build what we thought was going to be 3.5 million. Can we have you guys just table or step outside to talk? We have that money set aside in our budget already. So we're prepared. That RFP just went out today for a design build on that cover. And that will be within the dollars that we had allocated for it.
Well, hopefully so, because the first
I
one,
mean, yeah,
first one came
yeah.
back well over what we had budgeted. So,
I think that there's ways to get it done for less than that, for sure.
okay, well, fingers crossed there. Well, I think, and I'm agreeing with the commissioners is that we need to do exactly what you said, do the survey, find out what the city's plans are for the golf course. I don't know how they could make it any easier. It's been a while since I played the course, but I know it's a challenging, narrow with, I usually found water wherever there's water, I usually found it. But I think that we need to be careful how we approach any additional development over there at North Park on the west side.
We have a motion on the table. So
Can I just another clarity, just to confirm and restate the motion. So we know that the RFP allows the district within its sole discretion to reject any or all of the proposals. At your last meeting, we know that two of the surf park proposals were in fact rejected by motion. If I understand the chair's motion correctly, it would be to add the Boca Sport and Entertainment proposal to that list of rejected proposals. It would take that off the table were it to pass. It would be a motion to reject the Boca Sports and Entertainment proposal, just for clarity.
So, well, do you just, that's a question for the group. Okay, but are we just, I guess it was kind of twofold. Was it just to reject the Boca Sports, or was it also to add in a field house on that?
No.
Build it ourselves.
I think I didn't make a motion to put a new field house there as of yet.
Okay,
I think we have time to evaluate that as well, because we don't want to just stick it somewhere.
Right.
Without knowing what else we may or may not do there. So, but my motion was to reject that Boca Sports proposal.
okay. So are we, so be it. That's, I guess I understand. So that then it leaves us with the other, whatever other proposals there are, but is it fair to leave these people waiting until we decide that? Or should we just, let's reject everything right now? And except for the Boys and Girls Club, they know what they're doing. So that would be just reject everything as it is right now. We'll pick it up it's sometime next year. We're thinking it will be within 6 months. We'll target ourselves to work with the city and further define everything between them. And then we can pick it up from there.
So are you amending the motion?
Can I amend the motion to reject everything except for the,
Boys and Girls Club.
except for the Boys and Girls Club? So it would be a move to reject the development on the west side of the North Park, except for the proposal of the Boys and Girls Club, which may continue forward for consideration. And further move that in coordination with the city of Boca Raton, undertake a statistically valid community needs assessment to evaluate golf demand and identify additional recreation priorities of Boca's changing demographics and community preferences. Upon completion of the assessment, I move that the district develop and issue an RFP aligned to update the community data.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I'm going to call the question because we've gone back and forth.
I just have, does this include, now, we would have to also do a motion to dismiss Jerry Ford?
No, because I
Still working.
He'll
Okay.
do the Boys and Girls Club
Okay.
evaluation.
And I just want to confirm that Ms. Miller has the motion. It was a very artfully stated motion by the commissioner, but I want to make sure she has. the
Is
right-
it written?
Mhm.
My work cut out.
Sorry. He's funny.
Yeah.
So I call the question.
Okay. Roll call.
Yes.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
So one last thing though is, do we have to make a motion to kill this cone of silence, or is that automatically kind of end with it?
If all of the bids are rejected, with the exception of the Boys and Girls Club, again, technically because the Boys and Girls Club is still out there, the procurement still exists, I move to terminate the code of silence, which is in
Okay,
order.
so I move to terminate the code of silence.
Second.
Okay.
Is a motion necessary for that?
Only because you've got one proposal still hanging out there. Had all of them been rejected, the procurement would have ended completely.
Ready? Commissioner Ernst.
Yes.
Commissioner Engel.
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
If I might add, I move to do exactly what Commissioner Ernst suggested 2 weeks ago. But
What's that?
reject all the proposals and start all over again. But
Well, look, it's a rejection, but it's not. We're really giving time to collaborate. And I think it's the right thing to do because we want to find out a little bit more information from all district residents. And we're also going to say, okay, collectively, all these pieces, where do we put this field house that we've got the money for? It'd be nice if the city committed some of their 65 million towards it. We need to define those pieces with the city, and I think they're closer to it.
And I think the most positive thing that's come out of this is that the Boys and Girls Club hopefully will have a place on the southeast corner where we can serve 700 of our actual residents at that facility, the kids who needs a place like that the most for a very affordable price of $30 per year. So I
And
think,
access to the field, the gym house or the field houses
Well,
on
and-
weekends.
and the trails and
Yeah.
the mountain bike trails and hopefully
Yeah.
whatever else. So I think that's a really big positive thing that came out of this. Anybody else? Nope. Okay. Moving on to approval of payroll and invoices.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion for approval of payroll and invoices in the amount of $253,675.40.
Second,
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
yes.
Commissioner Rollins,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, moving on to reports and discussion items, Executive Director.
Commissioners, the RFP for the design build of the roller rink is advertised. Those proposals will be due back January 16th, so we'll have that at a forthcoming meeting in the new year. As you guys know, we're working with Plan to Park on the design, a conceptual design of the skate park at North Park. They're going to have they committed to 2 public workshops, so they'll have a second public workshop for input on December 3rd. They'll be hosting that at Boca Raton Community Center, December 3rd at 6 p.m. Work has started on the reconstruction of the existing pickleball and tennis courts at Patch Reef, so they're going through that methodically, doing the pickleball courts first and moving through there to get those all reconstructed. The drawings for the work that we approved at Patch Reef Community Center are near completion. We should be getting construction prices back from Shift Construction in December for you all to take a look at, and we'll have some images to show you as well as the Patch Reef Community Center. The roofing project at Sugar Sand is ongoing. The field house roof is anticipated to be completed this first week of December. They'll move to the buildings out at the ball fields is the next one on the schedule. And that's my updates.
Okay, thank you. Diego?
I have nothing further to report this evening. Thank you.
Okay.
I'd just like to clarify a couple of things that came up. One of the reasons that we decided upon public-private partnership to build a golf course was because, just as an example of way costs are now, the city of Delray is renovating their golf course, and they've budgeted $34 million for a renovation. That's a standing golf course that was active until whenever they decided to close it for the renovation. That is $34 million for a single project would mean for us spreading it out over 4 or 5 years so it would be affordable. A public-private partnership would get it done that much more quickly. We learned our lesson with paddleball. Okay, so what happened with the indoor paddleball rink, there's not going to be a repetition of that. Not as long as I'm sitting on this board. Okay. The reason that the public-private partnership was so overwhelmingly opposed in the case of the city campus was because it was from much more than what the city hall and the community center would necessitate. There was a whole bunch of other stuff there, which the community said we don't want. So that's the difference between their public-private partnership and what we would do. We would, any PPP would be specifically directed toward a specific task. And it wouldn't include restaurants, apartment buildings, hotels, or any of that stuff. Another thing with regard to Sugar Sand, the law states that any tree that we remove at Sugar Sand must be replaced. Okay, and it could be a sapling or it could be transplanting these trees. But if there are 3,000 trees that would be removed because of the softball field, there would be 3,000 trees either replanted elsewhere, Sugar Sand, or at another park facility. We would not lose a single tree. As far as the turtles go, I've visited the area, the wooded area in Sugar Sand on 3 different occasions over the last month. I didn't see so much as a squirrel, but that's just my visit. So I'm not saying that this is something that this is definitely where the softball field should go. But I just want to make sure that everybody has the right information going forward. The biggest enemy of progress is disinformation. Okay, it just slows us down, creates divisions. I don't want to see us being slowed down. I don't want to see any more divisions being created where it's not necessary. So that's my piece for tonight.
Okay. Well, I'll build on that. Since you brought up the public-private partnership and the pickleball center, the pricing on the pickleball center was, heavily negotiated and discussed. So there's a range of pricing. So if you're going to put out disinformation, a family membership is X amount per year. We agreed, I thought, with the pricing schedule and limitations on what they can do and a discount for district residents. So, and keep in mind, it is a $17 million facility that's air conditioned, and it's a full service amenity to the community. So we haven't even seen it come out of the ground yet. I'm expecting it to be nice. I'm expecting it to be open. Now, we did not, and we talked a lot about club membership and stuff like that as presented as, but that's not what we asked for. So I don't expect that they're going to deliver that, but will remain to be seen. So just be thankful that, someone else is investing in it and it's going to be an amenity to the area. If residents choose to use it, good. If they don't, that's okay. It's a small part of 212 acres. So I think it will be well received, just like the traffic garden was, a lot of things out there. So we have to take a chance. I think it'll be okay. Next item, want to share that I did a cleanup at the beach with the support of the city. They did a wonderful job. We had a company Give Back Day and resources working with Briand, and the city staff were very kind. There's a lot of interest in cleaning up out there. There are 2 other groups cleaning up out there. So I encourage the city to always support our volunteers who want to go out there. So that will be good. Next, on the pickleball, I would really like to make sure and I've been assured that we will have league play at the new pickleball center. It's very well received. Everyone who's gone out there has said very good things about the covered pickleball center, which I shouldn't say I'm surprised, but we all were out there for most of it, the startup of that, and it was very well received, and it continues to be a great amenity, and it is very affordable. So there is options for people. So it's not like we said, here's a private only thing that's air conditioned. We got a little bit of everything. So it goes to the Boca Raton, giving something to every one of the residents. You want to play outside, go to El Rio. You want to play under a covered court, under lights, go to Patch Reef. And if you want something air conditioned and maintained with all the amenities, you can go over to the facility at North Park. Lastly, and I don't know if I should make a motion to do this or not, but I really would like for our city, since we're in these heavy discussions, is to remove the dog ordinance. I see this dog ordinance on restriction at our parks. And you could take a dog to Town Center Mall, you can take a dog to Publix, you can take one thing we've done at survey in our community is we know that our community all has a lot of pets. They have at least 2 pets at every house. So why do we have this dog ordinance restricting people? And then we get the park ranger report that every month there's at least 60 violations. These are our residents. They like dogs. They like their animals. They can clean up after their animals. There must be a way to work around these things. So.
I agree with you. I think a city that allows dogs everywhere is a friendlier city, and it makes people happy having dogs around. Spanish River did open the whole lakeside to dogs now. There is a doggy bag area. Like you can walk around the lake now with your dog and go to both sides now, where it was dogs were not allowed before. But I do agree it can cause issues when dogs are on fields. I think having dogs on the soccer fields and the turf area might not be a great idea. So those are the only places that I think, I mean, you would hope residents wouldn't bring their dogs on the fields and
Inevitably, that's one of the things they do. They bring their dog with them to watch their kids play or something like that. So
agreed. But a lot of people don't clean up after their dogs as well. And I would hate for my son to be playing and run through a pile of, you know. I mean, I would be really angry at 9 o'clock at night if that happens. So, I think you're right, though. I think all parks should.
Well, right now it's
all-
nothing.
Right, agreed, I know. Unless it's a dog park, a designated dog park.
It's a city ordinance, so.
It's a city ordinance, though.
So can we,
We don't have any jurisdiction over that. We can certainly suggest it to the city. Also, residents can go and.
can I make a motion asking us for the city to explore removing it or
You
changing?
know, I don't think you need a motion. I think I can just talk to the city about it and see if there's an appetite for it to get
Okay.
started. Otherwise, it
Suggest
would be a.
Okay. But you should go to city council.
Go to city council.
Present your case on
Okay.
why dogs should be allowed at city parks and try to rally up some people. Obviously, it makes a difference when you go with a group of people and they hear more than one person talk about it. And we've seen it here, right? With all different kinds of things. So I'd be more than happy to go with you.
Well, I'll take you up on that, Aaron, but I don't think I'm gonna, lead a charge for it, but I'm supportive.
Well,
Okay.
if you're feel that strongly about it, I'm more than happy to go with you, and I think it's a good idea. But I think that's one of the steps that you could take to make your voice heard instead of, I mean, obviously Brian can communicate it, but going to city council makes a difference.
Let's start with Brianne communicating.
See what the appetite is, yeah.
Next month, we'll
Or maybe when there's a new city council,
probably.
that would make a difference.
Mhm.
Bob?
That's it.
Well, being in third place here, most everything's been addressed, but just a couple of points. One, my wife and I walk our neighborhood pretty regularly, and the number of discarded doggy bags in people's yards is really frustrating to me that people would not carry the bag with you, but take the refuse with you to your own garbage can. And don't leave it in somebody's yard for them to pick up. And to your point, Aaron, with I'm a dog lover. I love pets, but I think that if you have them on a rectangular field, Patch Reef, DeHornley, it could get out of hand very quickly with pets being not on a leash. I know they're required to be on a leash, so I would be very careful and cautious about how much we open that. I think it's great that they can walk around the lake, and I do think that maybe there's a time and place for that in certain parks. But when you have rectangular fields where pet owners sometimes let them run like they would let their children run, and I'm just not sure that I want to be that flexible. The other thing, like Steve said, I have walked Sugar Sand Park, and when that park was purchased, the city paid a considerable number of dollars to move the gopher tortoises to the southeast part of the park, and walking there. If you walk back there on that side, you saw some fencing that was knocked down, is rusted. And a couple of times I've been through there, I haven't seen so much as a squirrel in that area. Now, doesn't mean they're not there, but because there's no red lights on the turtles that attract your attention to them, because they could be there because it's seriously overgrown in a lot of the areas where you can't get into it. I do think that it's an area that we'll be doing the environmental survey that the city has said to mark the trees, and any trees that are removed by the softball quad. I'm just sorry that we didn't undertake this when we first built that park and built the baseball fields. It certainly was not meant as an oversight to the young ladies that using Memorial and the other facility. It should have been done a long time ago, in my opinion. And I hope that we can manage to put that softball complex in there without so much as disturbing one furry creature or a gopher tortoise. That would not be my intention to do that. But I think that the area that we've talked about is an ideal location for it. I don't know. I think we've looked at other retrofitting other parks, and there's just no way to do that safely for the participants. You can't shorten a field with a temporary fence without risking somebody being injured. So with that, being on the commission for many years that I've had, we've always come to a consensus among ourselves, which is the reason why I've enjoyed working on this committee, this commission, as long as we have. And when Craig says something or Steve says something and Aaron, I think we're generally all on the same page. We want to do the best for the community and build the best facilities and maintain them properly. And I think we do all of those things. So the one regret about our last exercise is that hopefully we'll give a little more thought to the process so that maybe we define a little closer what we're looking for. And, I think it was a good idea to open it up to see what we could get, but I think that created some frustration among some of the people in our community that put a lot of time and effort into these proposals. So I certainly look forward to what we do in the future. More than anything else, I'm happy because Craig's been preaching about, working closely with the city. And I think we have an administration that where we can do just that. I think the new city manager is going to be a real breath of fresh air. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Susan.
Thank you, Bob. That was great. Could we invite the new city manager to come and speak or?
He has been invited. They have a lot going on in the city right now. So when his schedule is, a little freer, they have meetings today and, this week. So they had, 2 meetings earlier today. So when his schedule, does let up a little bit, he does plan to attend one of our meetings. We did have that conversation. His every intention of coming here. It's just there's a lot going on downtown. So he's been busy right
There
away.
certainly is. The other thing, we all got an email from Mr. Ciliberti about the egress and entrance to the pickleball facility. Did that make any, I'm not a pickleball player, so I don't know what's going on with what
Yeah,
he's
the only
suggesting.
things we're addressing, there's a glare out there and staff, we're trying to get 2 proposals back from the contractor to address the glare issue that they're having during certain times of the day. But everything else, like we're working on a design for the new, for the pro shop to reevaluate the pro shop as it is. That was in our budget this year too, was to do a new design for the pro shop that would evaluate some of the traffic flow of pedestrians and stuff, but there hasn't been any other reports of issues with that. The only real issues we've had is the glare.
I mean, when you're out on a pickleball court that isn't covered, don't you have glare, or is this different?
I
Okay.
think it's a little different. I've heard it's different.
It's
I don't
different.
want to take on the pickleball.
It's different,
It's
having the
different,
roof
okay.
and having the lights and having the southwest sun come in. There's a glare coming from the south, where you lose the ball, with
That's not
a
good.
certain, height. So they're trying to figure out how to solve that issue. And in terms of the turnstile, I would not recommend it because people are gonna be jumping that turnstile every 5 minutes.
Just like any place else with a turnstile.
Yeah.
Just wanted to bring it up because I have no idea since I'm not a pickleball player. Okay, thank you.
Okay. I have nothing tonight, so.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes,
The motion passes.
we are adjourned.